Have you ever felt like you've given too much of yourself, your time, energy, and emotions, only to be left wondering if anyone truly values you? How often do you find yourself explaining your actions, seeking validation, or trying to prove your worth to people who seem indifferent? If this sounds familiar, it's time to rethink your approach. Imagine a life where you no longer chase approval, where your silence speaks louder than words, and where others begin to seek you out, realizing the value you've always carried. What if the key to power and respect lies not in speaking more, but in stepping back? What if mastering the art of Stoicism could transform your relationships, your mindset, and your entire life? Today, we're diving deep into the philosophy of stepping back and staying silent, a strategy that will shift the balance of power in your favor. Stay with us to the end, because that's where we'll uncover the final piece of this puzzle: how to reclaim your worth and let others beg for your presence without ever saying a word. Ready? Let's begin. 1. The power of absence. Let them feel your presence. Why is it that people only seem to appreciate what they no longer have? Think of the warmth of the sun. It's always there, constant and reliable. But the moment it disappears behind the clouds, we suddenly realize how much we need it. The same principle applies to human relationships. When you're always available, always present, people begin to take you for granted. But when you step back, when your presence is no longer a given, something remarkable happens. They start to feel your absence. Have you ever paused to reflect on how others treat your time and energy? Do they cherish it, or do they assume it's infinite? Absence, when used wisely, is not a sign of weakness. It's a statement. By stepping back, you create space for others to realize what they've been overlooking. This is not about manipulation. It's about teaching people to respect your boundaries and value your presence. Absence has a way of amplifying your impact. It forces others to confront their own expectations and assumptions. When you're no longer always within reach, they start to question, why have they pulled away? What did I miss? This curiosity is a powerful force. It shifts the dynamic, placing you in control without uttering a single word. But how do you know when to step back? The answer lies in self-awareness and the practice of Stoicism. Reflect on the situations where you feel drained, unappreciated, or taken advantage of. These are the moments that call for your strategic absence. By withdrawing your energy, you're not abandoning the relationship. You're recalibrating it. You're allowing the other person to experience life without your constant presence. And in doing so, you're giving them the opportunity to recognize your true value. Consider this. When was the last time you truly missed someone? Was it because they were always around, always available? Or was it their absence that made you long for their presence? People crave what they can't easily have. By becoming less accessible, you naturally elevate your worth in their eyes. This practice of stepping back isn't just for personal relationships. It applies to all areas of life. In professional settings, for example, those who are constantly seeking approval often find themselves overlooked. But those who maintain an air of calm confidence, who know when to step back and let their work speak for itself, command a different kind of respect. In the end, absence is a tool, a way to protect your energy and ensure that it is spent on those who truly appreciate it. It's about mastering the art of presence through intentional absence. And as you begin to embrace this practice, you'll notice a profound shift. People will start to seek you out, not because you're always there, but because they've felt the void you left behind. Now that we've uncovered the power of absence, let's explore how silence can become your greatest ally in the next section. 2. Silence speaks louder than words. Have you ever noticed how silence can be more powerful than any speech? In a world where everyone is eager to explain, justify, and defend, silence stands out. It disrupts expectations and commands attention. When you choose silence over unnecessary explanations, you're not just withholding words, you're making a statement about your confidence and self-worth. Why do we feel the need to explain ourselves? Perhaps it's the fear of being misunderstood, or maybe it's the desire to be liked. But here's the truth. Those who matter don't need constant explanations, and those who demand them often aren't worthy of your time. Imagine how much peace you could gain if you stopped trying to fill every silence with words. Think of the last time someone questioned your decisions. Did you feel the urge to explain yourself, to justify your choices? Now, what if you had simply said, "I made the decision that felt right for me," and left it at that? Silence, when used deliberately, can convey a level of calm confidence that no amount of words ever could. Silence also creates a sense of mystery. People start to wonder what you're thinking, what your next move will be. And in that wondering, they often realize how little they truly know about you. This isn't about playing games. It's about shifting the focus back onto yourself and your inner peace. By remaining silent, you take control of the narrative, allowing others to reflect on their actions and assumptions. The ancient Stoics understood this well. They believed in the power of measured speech, of speaking only when necessary and always with purpose. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You always have the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control." Silence is not just the absence of words. It's the presence of self-discipline and wisdom. When you practice silence, you create space for others to truly hear you when you do speak. Your words carry more weight because they're not diluted by constant chatter. In relationships, this can be transformative. Instead of being predictable, you become someone whose words and actions are deliberate, considered, and impactful. So, the next time you find yourself tempted to explain or justify, pause. Ask yourself, is this explanation truly necessary? Will it bring peace? Or am I simply trying to appease someone else? More often than not, you'll find that silence serves you better. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Have you experienced the power of silence in your life? How did it change the way others viewed you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video. Every like and comment helps us build a community of strong, reflective individuals who are reclaiming their power through Stoicism. Let's learn from each other and continue this journey together. 3. Guard your time and energy. Time and energy, two of the most precious resources you possess. Yet, how often do we give them away without a second thought? We rearrange our schedules for others, commit to tasks that drain us, and invest our energy into people who fail to appreciate it. Why do we do this? Is it because we undervalue ourselves, or have we been conditioned to believe that saying yes is always the right choice? The truth is, every minute you spend and every ounce of energy you give is a decision, a trade-off. When you give your time and energy to those who don't value it, you are robbing yourself of opportunities to grow, to focus on what truly matters. The ancient Stoics, masters of self-discipline and introspection, knew this well. They emphasized the importance of guarding one's inner peace and not allowing external forces to dictate their lives. Stop letting people who do so little for you control so much of your mind, feelings, and emotions, said Marcus Aurelius. What if, instead of being at everyone's beck and call, you chose to prioritize your own needs, your own growth? How would that shift your life? Guarding your time doesn't mean isolating yourself or refusing to help others. It means being intentional about where and how you invest your energy. Imagine your time as a vault filled with priceless treasures. Would you leave it wide open for anyone to take from? Or would you protect it, ensuring that only those who value and respect it gain access. Setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-respect. When you set clear limits on your availability, you're sending a powerful message. I value myself, and I expect you to do the same. And here's the surprising part. People will respect you more for it. They'll recognize that your time is a privilege, not a given. Have you ever noticed how people value what they have to work for? This applies to your time and energy as well. When you make yourself less accessible, when you're not always available to drop everything at a moment's notice, you create a sense of importance around your presence. And in that space, people begin to appreciate you in ways they never did before. The practice of Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control. You can't control how others treat your time, but you can control how much of it you give away. By guarding your time and energy, you're taking a crucial step toward mastering yourself. You're no longer living reactively, letting the demands of others dictate your life. Instead, you're living intentionally, choosing where to focus your efforts for the greatest return. This shift is not easy. It requires discipline and a willingness to say no, even when it's uncomfortable. But the rewards are profound. You'll find that by reserving your time and energy for what truly matters, you're able to live a more focused, fulfilling life. You'll have the space to pursue your goals, nurture your well-being, and build deeper, more meaningful relationships with those who genuinely value your presence. In the end, your time is your most valuable asset. Once spent, it can never be reclaimed. Guard it fiercely, and you'll discover a newfound sense of control and peace. A life lived on your terms. 4. Emotional independence. Stay unbothered. Imagine being completely unshaken by the actions or words of others. Picture yourself as a mountain, standing tall and immovable, no matter how fiercely the winds howl or the storms rage. This is the essence of emotional independence, a cornerstone of Stoicism. It's the ability to remain calm and composed even when external events try to pull you into their chaos. Why do we let others control our emotions? A careless comment, a delayed response, or even a disapproving look can send us spiraling. But here's a profound truth. The moment you allow someone to disrupt your peace, you've handed them control. And who holds the reins of your life if not you? The Stoics believed in the power of inner fortitude. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This philosophy teaches us that while we cannot control what happens around us, we can always control how we respond. Emotional independence means choosing not to react impulsively. It means deciding, with full awareness, which battles are worth engaging in and which are best met with silence. Have you ever encountered someone who thrives on provoking reactions? Their words or actions seem designed to test your patience. How often do we fall into their trap, letting their behavior dictate our mood? But what happens when you refuse to play their game? When you meet their provocation with calm indifference, you're doing more than protecting your peace. You're taking away their power. Emotional independence doesn't mean you're indifferent or unfeeling. It means you've mastered the art of detachment. You recognize that your peace is too valuable to be disturbed by the fleeting opinions or actions of others. This isn't about building walls. It's about creating an inner sanctuary, a place where your sense of self remains untouched by external turbulence. Think about the freedom this brings. When you no longer react to every slight or challenge, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. You stop being a puppet, controlled by the strings of others' behavior, and instead become the master of your own emotional landscape. This practice is especially powerful in relationships. How many arguments and misunderstandings could be avoided if we chose to respond with calm rather than anger? How much stronger could our connections be if we focused on understanding rather than reacting. Emotional independence fosters deeper, healthier relationships because it removes the volatility that often undermines trust and respect. It's worth noting that this strength isn't built overnight. It's a skill honed through deliberate practice and reflection. The next time you feel the pull of an emotional reaction, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? What do I gain by engaging? Often, you'll find that the most powerful response is no response at all. By embracing emotional independence, you become unshakable. The world will continue to test your resolve, but you'll stand firm, grounded in the knowledge that your peace is non-negotiable. This is the path of Stoicism, cultivating a state of inner calm that no external force can disturb. And in doing so, you'll find a profound sense of freedom, one that empowers you to navigate life's challenges with grace and strength. 5. Raise your standards. Refuse to settle for less. When was the last time you accepted less than you deserved? Perhaps it was in a relationship, at work, or even in the way you allowed someone to treat you. Why do we settle? Is it out of fear? Fear of being alone, of missing out, or of seeming too demanding? But here's a truth that Stoicism teaches us. You get what you tolerate. If you continue to accept scraps, don't expect to be served a feast. Raising your standards isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about recognizing your worth. Imagine a banquet where you're surrounded by the finest offerings, yet you allow someone to toss you crumbs. Would you accept that? Then why do we often do the same in our lives? Stoics like Seneca believed in living in accordance with virtue, which includes self-respect. When you settle for less, whether it's in your relationships, your goals, or how others treat you, you're sending a message to the world about how you see yourself. But the moment you decide to raise the bar, everything changes. You begin to attract people and opportunities that align with your new standards. This shift isn't easy. It requires courage to walk away from what no longer serves you and to say no to things that don't meet your expectations. But think of the strength and peace you'll gain by doing so. When you refuse to settle, you're not only honoring your own worth, but also encouraging others to rise to meet you. Ask yourself, are you content with what you're accepting right now? Or is there a part of you that knows you deserve more? Reflect on the areas in your life where you've compromised your standards. What would change if you raised them today? By setting higher standards, you create a filter that naturally weeds out what isn't meant for you. The right people will respect your boundaries, and the wrong ones will fade away. This isn't a loss, it's a gain. It's a step toward a life where your time, energy, and presence are valued. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever raised your standards and seen a positive shift in your life? Or are you ready to take that step now? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this message resonates with you, show your support by liking this video. Together, we can build a community of people who know their worth and refuse to settle for anything less. Let's empower each other to embrace the principles of Stoicism and live with unwavering self-respect. 6. Master the art of attraction. I attract, I don't chase. Have you ever noticed that the harder you chase something, a person, an opportunity, or even recognition, the more elusive it becomes? It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. Why is that? The answer lies in the energy of attraction. True power doesn't come from pursuing relentlessly, but from standing firm and letting what's meant for you find its way to you. In Stoicism, the concept of attraction aligns with the idea of focusing only on what is within your control. You can't force someone to value you, nor can you control every opportunity that comes your way. But you can cultivate the qualities that naturally draw people and opportunities to you: confidence, self-respect, and inner peace. These traits act as a magnet, pulling in the things that align with your highest self. When you stop chasing, you shift the dynamics in your favor. Chasing often comes from a place of lack, a feeling that you need something outside yourself to feel whole. But the moment you let go of that need, you radiate a sense of completeness that others find irresistible. You become the prize, not the seeker. And that shift changes everything. Have you ever wondered why some people seem effortlessly magnetic? It's not because they're constantly proving themselves or seeking validation. It's because they've mastered the art of being present and content within themselves. They don't need to chase because their very energy attracts what aligns with them. Think of it this way. A lighthouse doesn't chase ships. It simply stands tall, shining its light, and the ships are naturally drawn to it. In the same way, you can be a beacon, drawing the right people and opportunities toward you by embodying your values and living authentically. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. On the contrary, it means you actively work on becoming the best version of yourself, not to impress others, but to fulfill your own potential. The more you focus on your growth, the more you'll find that the right things come to you without force. Stoicism teaches us that the only approval we truly need is our own. When you live by this principle, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of seeking external validation. Instead, you attract respect and admiration naturally because people are drawn to those who exude calm confidence and self-assuredness. The next time you feel the urge to chase, whether it's someone's attention, a career opportunity, or even a particular outcome, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting from a place of confidence or from a place of fear and scarcity? More often than not, the answer will reveal that the best course of action is to step back and let things unfold naturally. By mastering the art of attraction, you align yourself with the flow of life. You no longer feel the need to force or control every outcome. Instead, you trust that what is meant for you will come, and you focus your energy on becoming the person who is ready to receive it. This is where true power lies, not in chasing, but in attracting through the quiet strength of self-mastery. 7. Glow up for yourself. Transform in silence. Transformation is one of the most powerful journeys you can undertake. But here's the secret. The most impactful glow-ups happen in silence. It's not about showing the world what you're doing or proving to others how far you've come. It's about growing for yourself, becoming the person you've always known you could be, without seeking validation from anyone else. Why do we often feel the need to broadcast our progress? Is it to seek applause or to make others take notice? But consider this. When you focus solely on your own growth, without the need for external recognition, your transformation becomes more genuine, more profound. You're no longer tied to the fleeting approval of others, but to the enduring satisfaction of self-improvement. The beauty of a silent glow-up is in its subtlety. Those around you may not notice the small, consistent steps you're taking toward a better version of yourself. But over time, the cumulative effect becomes undeniable. The same people who once underestimated you will find themselves drawn to the quiet strength and confidence you now radiate. And by then, their opinions won't even matter because your journey was never about them. Imagine focusing on your goals, whether it's improving your health, mastering a new skill, or simply cultivating inner peace, with zero need for validation. You're not chasing recognition. You're pursuing excellence for its own sake. This is the essence of Stoicism, living in harmony with your values, driven by purpose rather than the desire to impress. Have you ever experienced this kind of transformation? Perhaps you decided to prioritize your well-being, set boundaries, or focus on personal growth. As you quietly worked on yourself, did you notice how others began to view you differently? That's the power of a silent glow-up. It creates a ripple effect, drawing respect and admiration without you ever needing to ask for it. Let this be a reminder. Your transformation is yours alone. It's not about proving your worth to others. It's about realizing your potential and living in alignment with your values. And when you do this, the world will take notice on its own. Now, I want to hear from you. What personal glow-up have you been working on? How has focusing on yourself changed your perspective or the way others perceive you? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if this message resonates with you, give this video a thumbs up. Together, let's inspire each other to embrace silent transformation and live with the quiet strength that Stoicism teaches us. 8. The mantra, I move in silence, no explanations given. In a world where everyone seems to be shouting their truths from the rooftops, there's unparalleled power in quiet conviction. When you move in silence, you reclaim control over your narrative. You no longer feel compelled to explain your every decision, action, or change in direction. Instead, you let your life unfold without the need for external validation or approval. Why do we often rush to explain ourselves? Is it because we seek understanding? Or is it because we fear judgment? Yet, as Stoicism teaches us, the opinions of others are beyond our control. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, it never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. But what if you shifted your focus inward and chose to live by your own compass? Silence is not emptiness. It's a space filled with purpose. By choosing not to explain, you're asserting that your actions speak for themselves. You trust in your own judgment, and that trust is unshakable. This quiet self-assurance creates a sense of mystery. Those around you are left to interpret your choices, and in their curiosity, they begin to see you in a new light, someone who moves with intention and confidence. Moving in silence doesn't mean isolating yourself or withholding important communication. It means knowing when to speak and when to let your actions do the talking. Consider this: every time you offer an explanation, you're inviting others to critique your decisions. But when you simply act, without preamble or justification, you maintain your autonomy. You make it clear that your life is yours to lead. This approach can be transformative in all aspects of life. In your career, it allows you to focus on your work without getting caught up in office politics or unnecessary debates. In relationships, it frees you from the burden of constantly proving your loyalty or intentions. And within yourself, it fosters a deep sense of inner peace, as you learn to trust your instincts without second-guessing. Think back to a time when you felt pressured to explain a decision or justify your actions. How would that situation have changed if you had simply said, "This is what I've chosen, and I stand by it"? The power of this simple stance is profound. It shifts the dynamic, placing you firmly in control of your own narrative. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and responses. By moving in silence, you embody this principle fully. You let go of the need to manage others' perceptions and instead anchor yourself in your own truth. This is where true freedom lies, in living authentically, unburdened by the need for constant explanation. The mantra, "I move in silence, no explanations given," is a declaration of self-respect. It's a commitment to honor your journey without the need for external validation. And as you embrace this mindset, you'll find that life becomes simpler, more focused, and infinitely more rewarding. You're no longer weighed down by the expectations of others. Instead, you're guided by your own unwavering sense of purpose. In this quiet strength, you'll discover the essence of Stoicism, living in alignment with your values, regardless of the noise around you. As we bring this journey to a close, reflect on what we've uncovered together. From the power of silence to the strength of emotional independence, each principle builds upon the foundation of Stoicism. a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. By stepping back, staying silent, and mastering the art of presence through absence, you're not just reclaiming your power, you're redefining the way you live and interact with the world. This is your moment to step into the role of the observer, the architect of your own life. You've seen how guarding your time and energy shifts the dynamics in your favor. You've explored the magnetic force of attraction that comes from self-assurance and learned the transformative power of raising your standards and glowing up for yourself. Now it's time to fully embrace the mantra. I move in silence, no explanations given. The world will always offer distractions, judgments, and noise. But you now hold the tools to remain unshaken. You've become the mountain in the storm, the lighthouse that doesn't chase, but instead stands firm, drawing the right people and opportunities toward you. As you go forward, let this philosophy guide you. Your peace is your power, and your silence is your strength. In a society that values noise and urgency, you've chosen a different path, a path of deliberate action, quiet confidence, and unyielding self-respect. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Stoicism and self-mastery. If this journey has resonated with you, consider sharing it with others who might need this message. Your support helps grow a community of individuals dedicated to living with intention, resilience, and inner peace. Together, let's continue to rise, anchored in the wisdom of Stoicism and the strength of our shared journey. Stay strong, stay centered, and as always, keep moving forward in silence and power.